How much actual worth or money are we leaving behind in the way of modules, components, and ship weapons when we destroy a ship? It is of course easy to take into consideration that the salvage ship will disintegrate the ship eventually. First it will scrape it and then it will break it. But the main question would be, what about the components and the ship weapons and all the rest? The problem here is that we cannot take every ship into consideration. This is because all of them are not ready, so we need a rather new ship which has all of its components stored away somewhere inside the ship, so we could access and remove them. There aren't many ships we could stumble upon which have all of these components easily accessible, but I was able to find a little Drake Cutter Scout. Now the problem with Scout might be it's not the most common ship in the wars. It is actually very unique with its components layout. It does have a combination of size 2 and 1 modules upon it. So in the way of its components, it's somewhere between medium and small ships. The first goal of course was to destroy the ship, complete my mission, and then park next to it, start removing its components. The main focus was to get the 2 of the front weapons and as many of the components from inside as possible. I did forget about the rockets, but those were size 1s, so their worth would have been relatively small. If we were to buy these rockets fresh and new, it would have costed 75 AUEC a piece. That is their cheapest price. And so if I would have removed all 4 of them, I might have made 100 AUEC if I was lucky. So that actually seems like a massive waste of time, but it can be a good thing if you plan to use these rockets to swap out or refill your own rockets. But okay, back to Cutter's Scout. It has 2 size 2 components, and both of them are military grade D, the power plant and the cooler. The shields and the quantum drive are size 1, so they're gonna be worth a bit less. And as for the weapons, 2 size 2 CF227 Badgers, which are rather common laser repeaters across most small ships. And so I went to sell it all at Grim Hex, because it seems like a place where a lot of these things come and go. Okay, so what did we actually get and how much money is it worth? So as I stated, size 2 components are gonna be worth a bit more. They're roughly 10 to 15% of their original price. So the cooler and power plant are really worth picking up if they're size 2. As we can see for the size 1 shield and the size 1 quantum drive, they're not that expensive and will not give you enough money to actually be spending all your time maneuvering across the ship to, well, salvage it all. All of this being said, of course the big ships are gonna be worth more as their modules are bigger, their weapons are bigger, and that all pays out more. And so the small ones actually won't pay out that much. The total money I made after selling the weapons and the components of the ship was 14,413 AUEC. Now if all the components would have been size 1, my profit selling those components would have probably been somewhere around 5 to 7,000 AUEC. But since I got lucky with one of these small ships, which actually has some big components, well, it is somewhat worth doing. Now this doesn't mean it's some super secret effective moneymaker. It's salvage goods and the prices of reselling already bought components or used components or components you find out in the space is gonna be very low, somewhere around 10 to 15% of their original price. But if you want to be very thorough with your salvaging, well, I guess you can just pick everything clean and it will pump you up some extra money. Although I'm not 100% sure it's time best spent, especially with some of these smaller ships. But if you were wondering how much money you are leaving behind with each destroyed ship, not all of them you can loot, but it can fit easily between 5 to 15k. But as usual, don't forget to like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.